Hello, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of the program, Newsroom Series. This covers Nigeria's Northeast region. I am Bukola Koka. Members of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, have re-elected its president, Mr. Festus Osifo, for a second term of 4 years. The election, which was supervised by officials of the Ministry of Labour and Employment in Abuja, saw Mr. Osifo and other 18 executive members of the Congress returned unopposed. President of the Congress has vowed to deepen collaboration with relevant authorities and allies to push for fairer remuneration for workers as his team begins a fresh 4-year term.
We will work with the respective affiliates. We will work with the respective state councils. We will work with the Women Commission to ensure that the plight of Nigerian workers will not be going concern. To ensure that the welfare of the Nigerian workers will not sacrosanct. To ensure that we deepen the issue of remuneration, the issue of welfare much more than we have ever done before. You have elected men of timber and caliber. You have elected astute unionists. You have elected experienced unionists. I wish to thank you for the belief that you have once again reposed in us. I would wish to make this singular promise that we will never let you down.
The Nigeria Dental Therapists Association is asking the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pati, to intervene in the crisis rocking the association in order to save dental practice in Nigeria from an implosion. Addressing a news conference in Gombe, National President of the Nigeria Dental Therapists Registration Board, Fashim Zetan, says the deliberate delay in the appointment of a registrar for the dental board has halted the registration of new dentists in the country and hampered the renewal of license for existing practitioners. The association adds that the failure of the federal government to address the issue of the appointment of a registrar may lead to an indefinite strike that could plunge millions of Nigerians needing dental therapy and services into a grave dental jeopardy.
The locking of the office of the registrar in this context, there is nobody to occupy that particular office, because in a normal government setting that you know, immediately if the chief executive officer is moving out, there is a smooth running mechanism that it is normal that the most senior person should take over as the acting person pending on the appointment of the substantive registrar. In this case, the office is locked because nobody has assumed that office. Nobody has assumed the acting capacity. And the Ministry of Health did not appoint anybody, because what we were told is that the outgoing registrar said that the ministry didn't tell her to hand over to anybody. So on that ground, there is no way anybody can occupy the office, because it's an office of authority. So we are expecting that the ministry should have communicated to the most senior person there so that the activities of the board will continue. So as a result of locking up of this office, many dental therapists in Nigeria could not renew their license for 2025 so that they will be able to practice. Many of our younger ones are not able to even get registered. Many of our people miss promotion. Many of our people miss employment opportunities within this space of time. And, as a result of locking up of the office, still, none of the activities of the board is actually running well, because there is nobody that will actually give command to what is happening in the place. So if everybody is giving command within the agency, that means nobody is taking a position of authority. So as a government agency, we are expecting that somebody should take the lead. We will continue to press our demands to the government. We are very sure that this process has not gotten to the right place where it will actually get the needed attention it requires. At the end of it, if our demands are not met, we might not have option than to call on all our members to cease their services within the country.
The Yobe state government says it has recorded progress against vaccine hesitancy in the last few years, following coordination and advocacy visits to traditional rulers. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mohammed Lawan Gana, disclosed this at the flag-off of the 2025 polio vaccination week in Damaturu, the state capital. Dr. Gana further revealed that the exercise for children from 0 to 59 weeks will hold in schools, primary health care centers, worship centers, house to house, among others, for a period of 1 week. And more from Yobe State, about 3,000 students from Senior Secondary School 3, writing the West African Examination Council, WAEC, have received hygiene kits from the Yobe State government through the Office of the Focal Person to Governor May Malabuni on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Making the symbolic presentation to the students at the Government Girls College, Damaturu, the focal person, Adamu Jajeri, revealed the initiative is aimed at providing health care, educational continuity for the girls, and above all, to help preserve their dignity. He further explains that priority would be given to displaced and those writing their exams in Damaturu, Unguru, and in other major towns.
We came here to give humanitarian support to SS3 students. You know, SS3 students are doing their extension here at GGC Damaturu. We have about 5 schools here: GGC, GGSS, Buni, Babangida, and the rest. They are all here. So we came here purposely to give them some humanitarian support in terms of sanitary pads, tissues, detergents, soap, and others. Our office is a humanitarian office, so we were saddled with the responsibility of giving support to vulnerable people, to people with special needs, and others, especially students and others. So it is our mandate, wherever we see such type of things, we can be able to come and give our support.
The National President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, has visited Gombe State to see Mariam Umar, a 27-year-old physically challenged girl whom he fondly calls his adopted daughter. While running through the pages of a national daily in 2023, Professor Oshodeke stumbled on the poignant story of Mariam Umar, whom, despite being born without upper limbs, chose to go to school instead of begging for alms from street to street. And with less than 2 weeks to the end of his tenure as national president of ASUU, Professor Oshodeke decides to visit Mariam, who is currently a 300-level economics student in Gombe State University, thanks to the scholarship that he facilitated for her.
Born without arms, Mariam Umar seems undaunted by the circumstances of her birth as she turns her feet into multiple uses. A classic tale of ability in disability. Her rare kind of courage to enroll at Gombe State University instead of begging on the streets has caught the attention of the national president of ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, who traveled several miles to see her.
You're all welcome.
He laments the state of Nigerian universities, especially for persons with special needs, despite the long years of struggle by ASUU to make things better.
If the system is working, she should actually, in a normal setup, she should on either a federal or state government scholarship. Because like I said, she should be an inspiration to people. She should be a government angel. If they fund the university very well, they should have a special hostel for this category of people. Not even going from home, she should have a special hostel for them, as you have in some of these countries. So that's what we're aspiring for. That we should create an environment where every child will have access to education.
ASUU Chairman, Gombe State University, Dr. Salihu Jauro, gives updates on Miriam's performance as a 300-level student of Economics Department in Gombe State University, who writes with her toes.
Mariam is being driven by her passion towards economics. And we have been monitoring. The union have been keeping a close eye on her academic performance. Mariam is doing well, and it might interest you to know that up to this level, she has no carryover.
Mariam's neighbor and guardian says he is overwhelmed with joy to have ASUU national president not only visit Mariam, but providing lifetime support.
ASUU is a union that is very strong. It knows the value of education. By seeing her in the paper, they rushed and assisted. They interviewed Mariam. He sent that the chairperson of this area, Gombe State University, to ask Mariam and to calculate and to give him the bill, which they did.
Smiling from ear to ear, Mariam looks speechless.
My daddy. Say thank you, Daddy. Thank you very much.
As Professor Emmanuel Osedeke's tenure as National President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ends on the 9th of May 2025. However, the next set of executives will continue disbursing scholarships for Mariam, with the possibility of procuring artificial arms for her.
And there's more to come on the program. This time, the Bauchi state government unveils energy transition plans for some public institutions. We have details of this and more coming your way. After this break, stay with us. Welcome back. In a significant show of support and compassion to vulnerable residents of Taraba State, the Dangote Foundation has donated 20,000 10-kilogram-sized bags of rice to the state government to help cushion the effect of the economic hardship in the country. The distribution, which will cover the 168 wards in the state, is part of the company's ongoing National Food Intervention Program targeting poor citizens. Another set of palliatives arrived Taraba State, brought in to provide succor to vulnerable families who are going through hard times as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy and other tough economic reforms announced by the federal government. The provision of palliatives by well-meaning organizations has brought relief to many across the country, as the Taraba state government hopes to do same for its residents through its collaboration with the Dangote Foundation. 20,000 beneficiaries of this partnership are to get 10-kilogram-sized bag of rice each.
Aliko Dangote Foundation, he directed that we should be here today in Taraba State to hand over 20,000 bags of 10 kg rice to the good people of Taraba State. This is part of his National Food Intervention Program of 2025. Last year he did similar things, and it's part of his way of giving back to the society to alleviate some of the suffering of the masses. I'm hereby.
The state government is appreciative of this gesture, which it says will touch the lives of the locals.
And I want to assure the representative that these items given to state government will be judiciously distributed across the 16 local governments of the state, thereby ensuring that every nook and cranny of the state will witness this wonderful gesture in the name of bringing succor, in the name of alleviating the suffering of Nigerian masses and in Taraba State in particular.
The Taraba State local government chairman and the good people of local government are more than overwhelmed and more than happy with this kind gesture. And we extend our sincere appreciation to Alhaji Aliko Dangote via the committee chairman and indeed by extension the governor of the state. We are more than grateful, and we want to assure you that the gesture will definitely be put into use based on the reason why it's intended.
The Taraba state government had earlier conducted a similar exercise for vulnerable and physically challenged individuals in the state, promising to continue to partnering with organizations in its quest to ensure food security across the state. In a move to promote alternative energy, the Bauchi state government has unveiled plans to transit power generation in key public institutions, including the Government House, the Yankari Game Reserve, the State Specialist Hospital, and the Abubakar Tatari Ali Polytechnic, to solar energy. A government team led by the Secretary to the State Government, Aminu Hamayu, and the Commissioner for Housing and Environment, Danlami Hamad Kawule, met with potential investors to discuss a strategic plan for implementing high-impact renewable energy initiatives. The project, which spans a 15-month timeline, aims to generate verifiable carbon credit while delivering immediate social and economic benefits to the state. Briefing journalists after the meeting, Mr. Kawule states that a detailed action plan had been developed and would be submitted to Governor Bala Mohammed for further directives.
We have come up with action plans, which we are going to look into it, and we are going to meet with His Excellency and seek for his final approvals. The first thing that we are going to go according to our action plan is solarization of 3 major places in Bauchi. Number 1 is Yankari Game Reserve. Number 2 is Specialist Hospital. Number 3 is Bauchi State Government House and some other tertiary institutions. This is number 1 in our action plan. And the second one in the action plans, we agreed to go around and see our game reserves. That's Yankari Game Reserve, Lamebura Game Reserve, and other game reserves that we have in Bauchi. We're going to work together with them and make sure we generate carbon credit through that. And the final, but the last but not the least, which is number 3 in our action plans, is they are ready to train our farmers in Bauchi State for sustainable farming, where equally carbon credit will be generated through farming. Al'umma jihar Bauchi za su ci gaba da cin gajiyarsa, to muna ganin cewar in Allah ya yarda.
The Borno state government and the European Union have partnered to tackle climate change challenges confronting the state amid rising food insecurity among locals across resettled communities. As part of the mitigating measures, a policy document has been developed, adopted, and is being implemented to address challenges prevalent in the state.
Borno has faced several forms of insecurities in the past decade and a half due to partly the Boko Haram insurgency that has ravaged many communities. Access to farmlands and agricultural activities have been at the lowest point, leading to reduced food security and heightened hunger among the populace, made worse by the adverse effects of climate change.
We are mainly focused on some number of thematic areas. One is look at policy, to support the Borno state government in developing a policy that will look into issues around climate, and mainly to look at the state, supporting the state to develop a policy that can be able to address the challenge of climate change globally. So for us, for this project, it's mainly like developing policies, but also looking at some other areas like agriculture, where we can be able to educate, teach, show practical lessons, share ideas with the communities on how best for them to adapt to climate. So mainly it's on climate adaptation for our local community to see how they can even produce more to address the challenges of food security in Nigeria.
Many people have become displaced. Many people, as a result of climate change, are also considered as environmental refugees, not being able to produce their own food because they live in They live in camps outside their homes, outside their communities, being taken care of by emergency aids provided by development partners. Now that the insurgency have subsided and Borno State is doing everything possible to relocate them back to their communities, the issue that we are battling with is that of helping them to adapt to climate change that has happened, and also to see how they can move on in future to be able to produce their food and also make their livelihood in their own communities without having to move away from their communities. We all know that people are linked up to where they are brought up. People are linked up to people they know to maintain and preserve culture. Therefore, returning the refugees who have been in IDP camps for many years, having lost touch with their communities, it is important that they go back to their communities, preserve their culture, produce their own food, and live the lifestyle that they are used to.
Presenting hard copies of the document containing recommendations, the Commissioner for Environment reiterates the government's commitment to addressing climate challenges.
Right now, in fact, this season, I think you've witnessed, or all of us have witnessed, the way agricultural activities have gone through. The smart agriculture has already started in most of these local governments of the state. And you could see His Excellency in his magnanimity approved the purchase of solar-driven water pumps, solar-driven machines. That is, when farmers are complaining of cost of fuel and all those things, he had to look at solar activities. And most of this, if you go to Bagana, over 200 hectares of farmland has been cultivated through smart agriculture. And in fact, they are right now harvesting. You could see in our social media, harvesting has also taken place in Jere, Zabarmari, wheat production. Those agricultural activities were all done through smart agricultural activities, even ahead of this action plan. So I want to assure you on behalf of the government and then the Minister of Agriculture and Environment as well, the implementation of anything that is possible within this action plan, we want to assure that this thing will be implemented within local governments and for the benefit of our people of Borno State, inshallah.
About 20 hectares of land have been provided across the communities for the pilot study for poultry, fish, and vegetable farming, which are being cultivated with the hope that more land will be made available for the implementation of the recommendations.
And that would be a fine place to leave it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again same time next week with another round of editions of the program. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.